Hello again, and welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. I'm your host, Kevin Castley. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Tonight, I just wanted to talk about a brainlet over on Twitter. Actually, this was brought to my attention very recently. This is Ross Schumann, and he's been doing the meme. He got into it with Wyatt and Richard Rousset over on Twitter. Yeah, because Richard Rousset said, "Want to stop the wars?" Responding to Jack Posobiec, who has me blocked, of course, and refuses to debate me still, even though he challenged me to a debate. Not me directly, but he said, if any neocons want to debate, happy to debate anytime. And I'm still blocked, and he still hasn't gotten in contact with me. Very weak. Anyway, Richard says, "Want to stop the wars? Win them." Now, I have no idea what Jack said, but it was probably something dumb. Try and be a force for good in the world, where kids are gassed in their homes. Turning your back ensures those body counts climb higher. You want to toss blame around? Start with yourself and people like you who excuse it. And then Ross chimes in and says, "Waiting for a pic of your dog tags. I'll send you the pic from my 3 back injuries from service-connected injury, or my grandfather who died of Agent Orange poisoning. So you can tweet dumb shit." And Wyatt says, "That's a stupid argument, Ross. Join the military then. We talk." As if you are open to neocon foreign policy as long as Richard joins the military. You're a political clown. See, that's exactly it. Because, like, let's say Richard enlisted, or let's say he was enlisted. Would this guy have any different view? Would he take him any more seriously? No, he'd just call him a war criminal at that point. He'd say, "Oh, you're like a bootlicker and stuff, man." That's what he'd say. And then, of course, we got this Graham losers. Like, why do you all have those rectangular framed glasses? And then Richard's just like, how is that relevant? Because, of course, that's what the brainlet brigades have. The brainlet brigades only are able to attack people on their personal appearance because they got nothing. They got nothing. Their arguments just fall flat on their face. Additionally, we've got, let's see. Let's take a look at this. We've got him getting into it with Henry, too. And, of course, Henry is, Henry's a veteran. Henry served in Afghanistan. And Henry obviously disagrees with the isolationists. Now, he's not as like hawkish as a lot of the people in like the Hawk Gang and everything, but he's not a brainlet. So he's basically, Ross says, "Your buddy above seems fairly keen on the idea, so long as it's not his body, at least." And then Henry says, "Really? You think he wants to needlessly sacrifice lives?" And then Ross says, "Based on the information at hand, yes." Henry's like, "What information?" Ross is like, "You have eyes? If so, I suggest you read for yourself." Henry says, "Yeah, I skimmed it. Don't see what you're on about. You got anything you can tell me? 140 characters or less?" Oh man, we got Wyatt here tonight. Yeah. Oh man. So we got let's see. Wyatt says, "It's just sad when vets start rolling these arguments on as if being a veteran is a political weapon, not just good service." Well, see, that's the thing, is that guaranteed, if it turned out that Richard, even if Richard was a general in the military, this guy probably wouldn't, be more inclined to consider his viewpoint. They're just entirely dismissive of, the very idea of any sort of interventionism or any action for national security whatsoever. And I have no idea what Jack Posobiec said. I'm blocked. But Jack Posobiec probably said something dumb. Hence why Richard was chiming in to, explain some things. And then Ross Schumann chimes in, and this is Ross's response. And Ross's response there sounds no more sophisticated in terms of nuance than anything that we heard from Daniel, the guy who talked about getting drunk in the woods with the Alphabet Boys, or some of the recent ANCAPs that I've debated. Just very low IQ arguments, and it's disappointing. And it's sad. And it misses something. It really misses the idea that, now, especially if they're talking about Afghanistan or something, or some of these conflicts the United States or allies have already committed to. One thing that doesn't get discussed very often is that, say you were to pull out of Afghanistan, for example, you'd be essentially saying to all those thousands of American and coalition forces, not to mention the tens of thousands of Afghan security forces that died, that all of your deaths were in vain, that we're just going to give up on the project of fighting the Taliban and agree to get bombed by them again in the near future. Because, of course, that would happen, right? That's unfortunate. And, I mean, I would say to Ross, hopefully that Ross will grow out of that he will, go from being totally triggered that there are hawks out there on Twitter to understanding that his political opponents aren't bloodthirsty, that his political opponents actually want to make the world a better place and reduce casualties, reduce suffering, and enhance national security. So I really don't have too much else to add here. This is the second stream tonight. We got some debates coming up this week, the weekend, and into next week. So the saga with the ANCAPs continues. Anyway, thanks for tuning in tonight, and have a good one, everybody.